Hey everybody, welcome to day 111, and we are finishing Luke chapter 18 today. And so what we see in this chapter, as we finish up, we see the story again of the rich young ruler who comes to Jesus and says, "Good teacher, what must I do to enter the kingdom of heaven?" And so we see a couple of things here. One, he's admitting that he believes Jesus is someone different than everybody else. When they use the word good for a rabbi, they're talking about someone who is sinless. And so when Jesus says, "Why do you call me good?" he's not questioning that he is good. He's questioning the rich young ruler's heart to see if he will admit that he's calling him good because he believes that he is the Son of God. And of course, the rich young ruler talks about all of these commandments that he's kept since he was a kid. And Jesus calls out the one thing that he knows that would be hardest for him to do, which is to sell all that he has. And of course, it says this made the person really sad because he was very rich. So this is not a story about being wealthy, although wealth can cloud part of our path to Jesus, just because we get tied up in those material things. And it has to do with people who don't have a dependence on God. And so whether it's wealth, like the rich young ruler, or it's some other thing that stands in the way of your path to God, those are vices or addictions, or maybe just material things that stand in the way between being completely dependent on God and being sacrificial in that way. So definitely evaluate, is there something that God's calling you to give up? Because the next part of this passage talks about the disciples said, well, we gave up everything to follow you. So, is that good? And Jesus, of course, says, yeah, you gave up everything to follow me, or at least almost everything. And so there would be a reward for that. And so that's what God calls us to do. We see in the scriptures over and over, God calls us to take up our cross and follow him. And the cross representing all different kinds of things, like our wealth, or our addictions, or the material things in our life, or the people in our life that we may put in front of Jesus. And so we have to be sacrificial in that way, that we would be willing to give that all up to follow him. And then we finish up, we have a short piece that talks where Jesus is foretelling of his death. We know that they're heading to Jerusalem. And remember, as we've read scripture, they're heading to Jerusalem. The disciples are saying, you shouldn't go back to Jerusalem. They're trying to kill you. And Jesus knows that this is the path he has to take. This is the path they're on. And this is the only way to redeem the people. And so Jesus foretells of his death, but not only his death, he foretells of his resurrection. So the hope that comes with that. He will defeat death, and he will be the ultimate sacrifice for us. And then it wraps up with the story of the blind man on the side of the road, where it just says that a multitude of people are passing by, and the blind man recognizes that something's going on around him and asks what's happening. And when he realizes who it is, he calls out to Jesus and says, "Son of David." So he's admitting there that he believes that Jesus is the Messiah. And he asks him to heal him, and Jesus stops where he is, stops on his path, and stands still for this man to heal his blindness, because Jesus knows what we need, and it says that your faith has healed you. And so we've seen so many stories as we've read through the Gospels of Jesus not only talking about healing the physical, but also healing the spiritual, and to give spiritual healing to those of us who call out to him. So I'm praying for you today. Call out to Jesus, cry out to him. Look for those things that you need to get rid of in your life that are taking up space and causing you to not be fully committed to following Jesus. Hope you have a great day. See you tomorrow. Bye.